Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming by again. I'm going to make a relatively quick one. This is from Canada, of course, and we have a truckers' strike where we want to have things changed, and we'd like to have our rights back. In Canada, we had a constitution written in 1981 by Joseph Trudeau. I'm sure you've seen these before. This man, his real name is Joseph Philippe Pierre Yves Elliott Trudeau. He has 6 names. And he wrote the Constitution, and the Constitution has a notwithstanding clause in it. He gave us a Charter of Rights and Freedoms, but he didn't give them those rights to the people. He gave them to the judges who he appointed. You know, as dictators do. It's common. You know, they give it to you in one hand and take it back with the other. Jean Chrétien was the same, his close friend and all that. So in Canada, we have a court system that does not allow law. All judges run from it, and they throw you out of the court. I've been thrown out several times. They will not let you bring your case. Even lawyers, and I've hired 2. They were both thrown out of the court. Lawyers, for Christ's sake. One was a lawyer for 22 years. He couldn't believe it. He tried to protest, and I saw the look on the judge's face. I thought, he is going to jail for contempt of court and probably taking me with him. We weren't heard. That's our Canadian system of law. This man is the current Prime Minister. His name is Justin Trudeau. I have a woman friend who is telling me that her husband's name is Justin. And I said to her, I said, every time I see your husband, I can't remember his name. She said, think of it this way. A man with a 1-inch dick. It's Justin. Ah, now I always remember his name. This man apparently is in hiding. In fact, I used to be married to a woman from Ottawa, the capital of Canada. And the scuttlebutt there is that he is in the United States hiding. He has taken some elite forces with him from the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, which are actually, he owns them and he operates them. The police do what he tells them to do. In 1981, when this man wrote the Constitution for Canada, he made an order that all the police cars of Canada had to be repainted. The police cars in Canada at that time, it used to say, to serve and protect the public. Justin Trudeau's father, Joseph, had it taken off, and it now says, and this is still true, police services. And as I now know from my own experience and everybody else in Canada, it is a service to the rich and the powerful. The rich and the powerful. This man is the head of the government, and we have a thing called Parliament. And there's a black man in Parliament from the province of Quebec. And he just recently stood up in Parliament, and he said that these protesters, who are truck drivers primarily, but there's also farmers involved, he says they are carrying flags with swastikas and the rebel flag of the southern United States. Now that is a lie, out and out goddamn lie, but nobody's calling him out on it because being a black man, he has privilege like Whoopi Goldberg does. You know, being a white person, I have a thing called white privilege, which I live in subsidized housing. I'm a relatively, I would call myself a very poor person. This man who is in Parliament and from Quebec is a black man, and he's extremely well paid, and he has privilege. I think we should actually start calling things black privilege too. But anyway, I digress. In Canada, we had this woman. She used to be Attorney General, fired by this man. She wouldn't prosecute this man's friends at SNC Lavalin. The Lavalin family has a mansion right beside his mansion. They're friends. They exchange Christmas gifts, the whole damn thing. So she paid a very heavy cost, just like I did. She lost her rights. She lost her job. She lost her integrity. She's a lawyer, graduated, not just a graduated lawyer. She worked at her own law office here. She is now back in Vancouver, where she came from. And as I keep saying, and as she had to pay the price too and had to learn that this applies to Canada, where law ends, tyranny begins. She called it out for tyranny as well, not just me. Anyway, this man is a disaster, and he is a privileged man. He's a billionaire. He claims he has $1 million, but his daddy had major shares, his grandfather actually, in a company that was called Petrofina, and then it became Petro-Canada. And they had Class A shares at an awful lot of gas stations in the province of Quebec. They're oilmen. He's an oil man. He makes his money off of oil. That's where it comes from. which I think is quite ironic because when Greta Thunberg was in Canada and Greta Thunberg helped him get elected, he's, carbon dioxide this, carbon dioxide that. And of course, when she left Canada, he approved a pipeline that comes here to Vancouver. I drive by the streets where it's going. The pipe's going right by my place here right now as we speak. And it's going to deliver oil to the west coast here, and it's going on a tanker, and it's for sale anywhere in the world. Compliments of this man and his Petro-Canada shares. So it's the arrogance of it all. I just want to bring up something to you. Because this man suspended our Constitution and our rights under a thing called the Notwithstanding Clause, which his father put in there, Joseph. It is cancelled for 5 years. We have gone through 2 years. We have 3 more years of no rights. And he can't institute it until the 5 years is up. But it can be renewed in 5 years. It can be renewed forever. But this Constitution of 1981 was not signed by René Lévesque, and it had to be. He was the premier of the province called Quebec. Actually, in Quebec, they called him the prime minister, which is probably more accurate to do than call him a premier. However, it had to be signed by him. He represents 25% of the population. He refused to do it. He could see what was coming. That was tyranny. He's the greatest man in Canada. Right now, he's dead now. He died a few years ago. But he could see it, and he stood up for freedom. Justin Trudeau's father just hated him, absolutely hated him. But when René Lévesque went back to Quebec after the meeting to sign the Constitution and found out that Joseph Trudeau had signed it in the right of Quebec, he said very famously that the Quebec had been stabbed in the back in the middle of the night by this man's father. And that's a fact. That's the way it is in Canada. And that's how dictators operate. Sorry to throw it in your face, but I'm watching Viva Fry on the street. I sent him comments. He hasn't sent me one back. I know he's very busy because I don't know how he got to he's making a little bit more than $5,000 a month on his YouTube channel. I don't know how he's doing that. I'm still on YouTube. I haven't made any money yet. And I know other people too. They make like $11 or $12. He's getting $5,000. I have to go right now. It's getting late. My friends are going to close out the show. They may have mixed things up again. And there are more of them coming. So anyway, thanks very much. You take care now. Everybody have a nice life if you can. It's a terrible struggle right now. Bye-bye.
Wow, Pedro gives you his special gypsy glasses and this is what you choose to look at? Pedro is not very sorry for you. Oops.